When you drink an espresso, you don't have to wince. That's how it is supposed to be.
Okay, so many things to talk about.
If you understand coffee is a fruit.
Yes.
Very sweet. तो उसमें sugars हैं बहुत सारी. Now when you roast it, what starts happening is your sugars start getting caramelized. अब एक level तक तो caramelized होती है. उसके बाद it starts getting converted into charcoal. That's where the bitterness comes from.
Talk to me about Indian coffee. What is superior about Indian coffee?
Oh, it is fabulous. I love Indian coffees. I think one of the things which is very, very close to my heart about this is because I have worked in Ladakh, I have worked on sustainability and climate change a little bit. The fact that it is grown under a forest, that you not cut down rainforests to grow coffee like a lot of other countries have done. I love that fact. I think a lot of our...
Every month I see a new brand coming up. First coffee आ रहा है, अब coffee आ रहा है, tan coffee आ रहा है. Do you get scared कि यार इतनी market में मैं कैसे घुसूंगा? What would be my penetration? How would I do it?
See,
I'll talk about Sonam Wangchuk a bit. When you were with him, how was the experience? How was the learning? What was it?
very, very valuable. I learned a lot of things, especially in terms of how you live in a village, first of all. So I was working on climate change mitigation, reverse rural migration. Then I was helping run farm stays in the village.
Is climate change real?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no doubt about that.
How do you solve a problem that is at this level, right? These are problems that no one person, no people can solve, right? Climate change as...
No, you can't.
Okay.
Like, see, I'll tell you what.
How was working with Sonam Wangchuk?
Good. Interesting. He's an ideas person.
Okay.
Has a lot of ideas.
Okay. And how do you... Like, did it give you some sort of learning? Like, because...
Massive. Huge amount of learnings. First of all, how to work in rural areas, how to work with rural communities. उनके driving factors अलग होते हैं. What they're looking for is very different. The decision making is very different. Like priorities अलग हैं, right? Along with that, I was like handling the operations. I was also heading the forestation department of the university. School of Tourism was under me. This was my first time in academics also.
Okay.
So the first fellowship that we launched, I was like designing the academics for it. I was teaching also. I was teaching entrepreneurship. I was teaching tourism. And the way to teach was very different. Like I had to make sure that कुछ भी classroom नहीं होगा. Everything is outdoors. So just to give you an example, the first module was that we had to teach them about ecology.
Okay.
अब या तो क्लास में बिठा के आप उनको 4 चैप्टर्स पढ़ा दो या फिर आप उनको बाहर लेके जाओ, right? So in ecology, we said we'll teach them 2 things: glaciology and forestation. So for forestation, we asked them to go out to the upper valleys of Ladakh, figure out what are the native plants which grow here. Native plants हमें भी पता थे कौन से grow होते हैं वहाँ पे, right? So we asked them to identify those plants.
Okay.
Then we arranged saplings of those plants for them. They had to plant a forest in the university. They had to take care of the forest.
Okay.
1 साल के बाद सबका अपना अपना बैच था, जिसका जो सर्वाइवल रेट है उतने मार्क्स हैं.
Oh, nice.
So out of your 100 plants, if 90 survive, you get an A.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. So Manish, thank you so much for doing this. Welcome to the Not Knowing podcast. I'm so excited to talk to you. How do you pick coffee in a country which is, natively चाय पीते हैं हम 3 बार दिन में चाय पी लेते हैं.
Yeah.
So how do you pick coffee as a business?
I think the route for this would have started in my childhood. I have never had chai in my life.
Never chai.
I think a sip, and I was done. Like, so I have had green teas and herbal teas and flower teas, but never the Indian chai. Coffee is something that I've been at a very personal level experimenting with, trying out different brews and different ingredients, different infusions into coffee for a long time now. I think almost 10 years now.
Okay.
So between chai and coffee came naturally.
Okay.
And as a business, the seeds I think started in 2022. I was in Vietnam. This was a backpacking trip. Somehow got converted into a coffee exploration trip. because I was very intrigued by the fact that they're very proud of their coffee culture.
Okay.
And somehow I wanted to explore more of it. Ended up going into towns where no one spoke a word of English. Had to hire an interpreter just to talk to people. So this town is Buon Ma Thuot. This is called the coffee capital of Vietnam.
Okay.
I went there. This was unplanned part of the trip, just because I wanted to know more about their coffee. From there, I thought, okay, I think this is great coffee. Let's start importing this coffee into India and let's make Vietnamese coffee a thing in India. Came back, saw that that's not very easy because we have very high tariffs on coffee imports into India, which is to safeguard our own farmers. Changed track. I thought, okay, let me now explore Indian coffee a little more. Like I've done it on the surface, but let's get deeper into it. When I did that, I realized that Indian coffee is far superior to what I was consuming in Vietnam. And there is more merit in doing that. But also the fact that while Indian coffee is very, very good, we don't know about it.
Okay.
Most of our good coffee, specialty coffee, goes out of the country, is sold in Europe or States. And we are being fed that typical trade coffee, commodity grade coffee in most of the places. Right? This is not to say that specialty coffee did not exist in India. I think it started around 10 years back. And there have been a lot of great brands and roasters which have come up and are doing great specialty coffee. But I still thought that the space is still pretty open and there is more which can be done, should be done. And that's how we started.
So when you say that you found Indian coffee superior when you came back to India, what do you think is the definition of superior coffee?
Okay. So I think primarily what grows, right? So Vietnam is a Robusta growing country. 95% of their production is Robusta. They are the world's largest exporter of Robusta. India grows both Arabica and Robusta. And I think coffee sits somewhere between these two, like in terms of a blend. And even when it is about single source, single estate or single origin coffees, Arabicas are the ones which are more flavorful, which have better taste notes comparatively. There would be some people who would love Robustas more. But overall, if you look at it, Arabicas do better. Also the fact that Indian coffee is shade grown. So their ripening time is more. So you get more complex flavor development, which happens in Indian coffees. Vietnamese coffee is sun-grown, like Brazil and Vietnam, both of them are sun-grown coffees. I think these were the primary reasons, and I actually did that in a small coffee lab. I compared both these coffees, the Vietnam origin and Indian origin. And eventually, the one thing that I always go by is drinkability. So even in drinkability, Indian coffees are far superior. So that's when I decided that I think if I have to get into this, then Indian coffee is the
Okay. And you talked about Robusta, Arabica, right? So are these what are these? Because think of me as an illiterate coffee person, right? I don't know. I've heard these words like menu pe kai baar likha hota hai 100% Arabica, right? But I don't really know what it is, right? So what is it?
So let's start
from the basics.
Coffee has around 120 plus subspecies. Okay. Out of those, there are 4 which are commercially grown. Arabica, Robusta, Liberica, Excelsa. Even between the 4, the 2 dominant ones are Arabica and Robusta. Liberica और Excelsa बहुत कम ग्रो करती हैं in very tiny percentages. Commercially इतना ज़्यादा नहीं है उसका. Arabica and Robusta में से Arabica grows at higher altitudes, is more flavorful, is what the world wants. Robusta grows at lower altitudes. Robusta has double the caffeine of Arabica. The reason it is called Robusta is because the plant is robust. It is not impacted by plant diseases as pests so easily. और उसका रीज़न है क्योंकि उसमें कैफीन ज़्यादा है. Okay. So for plants, caffeine is a mechanism to keep the pests away.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That's why they have caffeine.
Oh.
So ये दो varieties हैं mainly that you will see.
ठीक है.
Arabica is something which is under threat because of climate change. Okay. So we are seeing year on year there is a challenge in terms of growing Arabica. Okay. And while there's a lot of work happening on climate resistant varieties, if that is not done, I think in the next 15 years we'll be staring at a severe shortage of Arabica in the world. And that's going to be challenging because everyone wants Arabica.
I think I said Arabica instead of Arabica.
Yeah.
Sorry for that. I was referring to pasta, I think.
Pasta.
Okay, so what do you think is Indian brands and Indian consumer, where are they wrong about coffee? Because I think you have spent, 10 years in coffee, as you said, right? So what do you think is the most common, mistake that you see that, ye to is not something that is coffee? Is not something.
So I wouldn't call it a mistake. It's a journey. Okay. The reason a lot of us have a very different perspective of coffee because that's what we have been taught.
Yeah.
This is what we've always known about coffee. For me also, my first cup of coffee would have been a Nescafe. Okay. So there is nothing wrong in that. That's a start. Okay. But the fact is that what I find lacking in India is pride in our coffee. Okay. So for us, coffee is a driver. It's like a caffeine ka shot hai, which will keep me awake. And that is what I found different or better in Vietnam. Like there's a lot of pride in their coffee culture. Okay. And which is what they propagate outside also. And that is why they are the second biggest producer because they have created that market also. In India, we were always stuck onto instant.
Okay.
हम instant के आगे बढ़ नहीं पाते थे. Then it started, I think, with CCD.
Yeah.
Okay. And we know that Mr. Siddharth and CCD were the pioneers of bringing out real coffee in India. Okay. At least out of South India. Because South India has always been drinking filter coffee at their homes. That is when we got exposed to espressos and cappuccinos and flat whites and all those drinks, lattes. But that again was trade coffee or commodity level coffee done at scale, right? Specialty coffee is a very, very different market. It's when there's a lot of traceability of your coffee, where it is coming from, which farm it is coming from, what is the altitude, what is the region, what kind of taste notes can I expect. It is generally a single origin or even better, a single estate coffee. Okay. It comes from a particular producer. Using that, you can control the quality of the coffee. Okay. And you get repeatability in your cup. कि हर बार जब मैं कॉफ़ी ये वाली पीता हूँ तो इसमें ये 4 टेस्ट नोट्स मुझे आते हैं. Okay. Now that is a journey which takes time, which for our country is also taking time. But I'm very excited with the fact that we are actually like on our way to become a specialty drinking nation. And which comes again with a lot of pride in Indian coffees, which now will travel outside. Okay. It is not that Indian coffees were never liked outside. Like most of our specialty coffees have always been going outside, always been getting sold in Europe. We were not aware of it. We were not drinking it. That is now changing.
Okay. And when you say these 4 things, मैं इस coffee में, like I can taste that coffee and I want that batch again and again, right?
Yeah.
I want that taste again and again.
Yeah.
Do you think that is very hard to control? Like very, very hard to control those?
It is. It is because there are multiple stakeholders involved, right? Any taste note or any particular coffee, the taste notes it will have will first depend on the terroir, which is your soil, your rainfall, your altitude, your methods of processing, how the farmer is processing the coffees, whether they're getting picked at the right time when they're like properly ripe, right? ये सारी चीज़ें define करती हैं. Okay. The next comes your roaster. Whether the roast profiles are doing justice to that particular coffee. Okay. Then comes your brewing. okay, which is the consumer facing part of it, but which is again very, very important. So all of these have to be in sync for a coffee to be specialty.
Okay.
Right? I can get the best coffees, but if I don't know how to brew it, I'll screw it up.
Okay.
Okay.
So where do you think the brands are lacking? Like once you go out and you buy a coffee, right, and you drink it and you're like, can you pinpoint कि अच्छा यहाँ पे ये problem है? Like, is it the brewing? Is it the coffee? Can you
Generally, yes. Like with experience, you get that, right? So now, when I go out, okay, I'll first see the beans. I'll smell the beans. I'll ask for the origin. 90% of the cases, I'll take a decision not to drink it.
Do they know the origins? That was my second question. Like, do they know the origins?
The barista should know the origin.
Yeah, okay.
The barista should know the origin.
Okay.
Okay. Because, see, barista, if you look at it on surface, it's a job. Okay. You come, you start the machine, you make coffee, and then you serve it. But for a lot of baristas, at least that I know, and from me, that is the standard that I expect. They love coffee. So for them, it is not just a job. It is also like when they see a new coffee, there is a lot of curiosity. कि ये कहाँ से आई है? कौन सी कॉफी है? कैसे processed है? किसने roast करी है? Okay. वो passion जो है is a very important part of coffee, and throughout the value chain. Okay. From producers to curing works to roasters to brewers, that passion exists everywhere in the industry, and all of it, when all of it comes together, that is what makes a good cup of coffee. So a great cup of coffee on your table is not an easy journey.
Okay. Yeah. And I think that is what I'm not sure if the Indian customer understands that. Because with all the brands pouring in, right? Like, for example, now I see, like McDonald's have started McCafe, right?
Yeah.
They have Americano, they have all of these things.
Yeah.
So, do you think that Indian customer will eventually lose that value of a specialty coffee? Because once I go to a McDonald's, right, I can get a Vietnamese coffee for 100 rupees, let's say 80 rupees, right? But if I am not that educated about coffee, or if I don't know कि ये कहाँ से आ रहा है या फिर मेरे को कैसे मिल रहा है ये, right? I would not know the value, right? So for a brand like you to hold that customer, do you think that is getting?
But I think that's a part of the journey again. I think that's a very important step of the journey. Okay. Because McCafe consumer कौन होगा? Probably someone who has been having instant coffee all their life.
Yeah.
So उनके लिए वो एक step up है. और उसके बाद 3 step ups और हैं. Okay. So most of them will stop there, right? But some of them will graduate from there. Okay. But the good thing is they've come up from instant to this. Okay. And I think that's an important part of the journey. And that's how it exists in any market or in any product category if you look. Okay. You will not have one fine day when everyone will move up to the best quality in terms of a particular category. Like even when you're talking smartphones. We moved up from feature phones to entry-level phones to the Samsung Ultras and the iPhones of today, right? It's a journey. Similarly with coffee, it's a journey.
Very interesting. Because I think I was thinking कि जैसे for example a person who's paying less, right, will get that coffee and be like अच्छा यही coffee है, this is what I like, and if I get addicted to that taste, I might not want to move up a ladder.
See वो जो move up करने वाली percentage है, वो curious वाली जनता होती है, वो एक specific percentage ही है, वो curious जो होते हैं वही करेंगे. बाकी for most of the people that might be enough कि हाँ ठीक है, this is a good coffee.
Do people understand the boutique culture, like coffee boutique culture?
I think now they are understanding. Okay. I think what is also going to change massively is that we'll have more and more home brewers. So if you go to Europe, I think most of the households will have an espresso machine at home. Okay. So these people will buy their beans and brew coffee at their home. In India, we still don't have that culture. It's more of a cafe culture right now. Okay. The home brewers are there, but we are a very, very tiny percentage. Okay. That is going to change big time. So the cafes will stay, but I think the augmentation in the industry will also happen through home brewing. Okay. Initially, it will start, I think, with manual brews and eventually with espressos also. because manual brewing, the cost of entry is much lesser. So you can have a hand grinder and a V60 brewing kit, and all of it you can get for around 10 to 15,000 at home, and then you can brew great quality coffee at home.
Okay. So one of my friends, he drinks, I don't know, I'll just tell you the process, just tell me what he drinks.
Yeah.
So I guess there's a funnel, there's a container in it, he puts a filter paper, and then the coffee, I think the coffee extract, and then the hot water, right?
Yeah.
So what is that?
So that's most probably a V60. Okay. So this is a method of brewing. It is called pour over.
Yeah.
Very simply, you are pouring water over coffee.
Okay.
Okay. This is a percolation based method. So there are generally two ways that you can make coffee. One is immersion, one is percolation.
Okay.
Immersion means आपने कॉफी और पानी को एक साथ मिला के रख दिया. Okay. For some time, and after some time you will filter it out. Which is French press. So French press में आप साथ में ला के रख देते हो. Yeah. Okay. Percolation is when you are allowing water to percolate through coffee. Okay. So pour over is a percolation method. Espresso is also a percolation method done under pressure. Okay. If you want, we can go more into the technicals of it.
I'll be interested. And does the taste change, or what is just the method?
Yeah. So
the taste changes.
Taste changes. Yeah.
Okay.
So espresso में क्या होता है? You are doing percolation, okay, but you are doing it in 20-25 seconds. Okay. Whereas in a pour over, you're doing it in 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now when you have to do it in 25 seconds, you have to push the water through the coffee very fast.
Yeah.
So you use pressure.
Yeah.
Okay. So एक espresso machine में you can use up to 9-10 bars of pressure to push water through coffee. Now जब आप push कर रहे हो इतनी जल्दी, ठीक है, तो कॉफी एक्सट्रैक्शन के लिए थोड़ी सी रेजिस्टेंस होनी चाहिए. नहीं तो पानी सारा बह जाएगा उसके थ्रू. वो रेजिस्टेंस कैसे आती है? यू ग्राइंड योर कॉफी फाइनर. Okay. Whereas in an pour over, because you are not using any pressure, there is only atmospheric pressure of 1 bar. So if you grind it very finer, it will get clogged. It will not go through. Yeah. So you grind it slightly coarser. So we call it medium fine. Okay.
And जैसे I have been to Blue Tokai. So I have seen वहाँ पे लिखा होता है Vatican Estate, and there's Vienna Roast. Yeah. So what are those?
So the estate names are basically the estates from where the coffee is coming. Okay. Which is basically all about traceability. Okay. So you should know where your coffee is coming from. This is a part of traceability. Vienna roast is a specific kind of roast. So you create a blend, of coffee, and then you roast it to a certain level, which is called Vienna roast. Generally, it is used for espressos, not for manual brewing.
We have talked about brands. What is Blackpool doing?
So we started around 2 years back, 2.5 years, I think now. Predominantly working in the B2B space. We supply coffee to premium cafés and 5-star hotels. And our focus is to basically bring out the best of what Indian coffee can do, and showcase it out. And because, as I said, that right now in India, the consumption is mostly through cafes. So that is why we are in the B2B space. And we are slowly moving into the retail space also. So we are now launching drip bags and roasted coffees for D2C consumers also.
What do you think are the most challenges from moving B2B to B2C?
See, B2C in India is a difficult market to crack, not just for us or just for our category, but for all categories. And we have seen like a lot of startups, even the ones who have scaled, profitability has been a challenge for most of them, right? Because your ad costs, performance marketing, all of this completely bleed the business, right? And without that, in a crowded market, it is difficult to stand out. Okay. B2B has its own challenges, has its own fun, so to speak. But the entry might be difficult, but then you sustain that business, right? In B2C, the entry might be easy. You might be able to make the first sale to someone very easy, but sustaining that consumer over a long period of time is difficult. So your LTV, which is your lifetime value, is not very high in India.
Okay.
Okay, there is a little bit of flakiness when it comes to sticking to a particular brand, and that the only reason is because there are so many options available.
Yeah.
Right. So वो एक challenge है B2C का. And I've gone through that earlier in my other brands and in my corporate roles also. That's a challenge that you have to figure out and work with. So profitability is a longer play in B2C.
तो जैसे अब अगर हम बात कर रहे थे, वी टॉक्ड अबाउट कॉफ़ी वेयर द कस्टमर नीड्स टू लेवल अप टू गो टू फ्रॉम माई कैफे टू अ स्पेशलिटी कॉफ़ी. व्हेन इट कम्स टू बिजनेस, हाउ डू यू थिंक कि जैसे अभी आई थिंक अ स्पेशलिटी कॉफ़ी वुड कॉस्ट मी अराउंड 350-400 रुपीज़, राइट?
For a 250 gram pack, around 500 rupees.
Yeah, no, I was talking about the cafe. Like if I go
Okay,
to a
yeah,
cafe,
in a cafe.
in a cafe, it would cost me
Yeah.
around 350 to 400 rupees, right? So, as a brand, obviously the profitability would be a problem, right? Because India में एक तो 350 रुपये किसी को समझाना कि ये कॉफ़ी में आप क्यों दे रहे हो, right? What is the value behind it? What is the story behind it? And as a founder, you cannot be everywhere to, explain that passion, that dream very nicely to the consumer, right? So how do you do that? How do you navigate that?
So two things here. You don't need to sell specialty coffee at 350. First, let's bust that myth. You don't need to sell it at 350. Okay. The difference between a commodity coffee and a specialty coffee in per cup pricing is around 20 rupees. That's it.
Okay.
You spend 20 rupees extra per cup, okay, you'll get specialty coffee. So when we talk about cafes charging 350 and 400 rupees, that is not just for the coffee, that is also for the ambience.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
You can open a kiosk and do a specialty coffee for 150 or 200 rupees also very, very well.
Okay.
Okay, and you'll still make a lot of money.
Okay. If you had to open a cafe right now, what would be your way to go about it?
I don't want to open multiple cafes, first of all. I think I want to open one.
Okay.
And I want to open a bigger cafe, which is more of an experience center for coffee, not just a cafe. And do a lot of things which are about propagating Indian coffee to the world, not just selling coffee.
So mostly education and...
Education, also in-house roasting inside the cafe so people can see how it all happens. And then not doing the same coffee every week, like doing a new coffee every week on the espresso machine also, doing a new coffee every week on your manual brews also, so that people get exposed to different kind of coffees.
Yeah.
Your coffees don't need to taste always that same
The cold
one
coffee
bitter.
frappe,
Yeah.
Okay. And are espressos bitter? Because I've had espressos and I feel that यार ये तो बहुत ही like नहीं पी जाती, like it is just not, drinkability is just so low, I would say. So I would tell you.
Yeah.
So Starbucks opened up in Faridabad.
Yes.
Okay? And I this is back in not in Faridabad. I think it opened up in CP first, like Connaught Place सबसे पहला खुला.
Yeah.
And 2016, 2014 was like कि Starbucks जाना है, ठीक है? So I took a metro. With a friend we went to Starbucks, and looking at the menu I got very कि ये तो like I have never had like these many options. And I'll go an Americano.
Yeah.
She's like, sir, this comes with no milk, no sugar. It's like, no worries. Because वहाँ पे एक तो there's a nervousness of, ordering your coffee for the first time. And then I got that coffee and I drank it for the first time. I was like, what is this? Like, मैं यहाँ से 2 घंटे आया. But I understand, like, now that I drink an Americano or I drink an espresso, I understand कि हाँ, this is a taste. This is maybe an acquired taste. Like
This takes time to...
Yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
So, do you think that acquirement should happen over time, या फिर espressos are generally also, people can like it, people can, go about it, taste it?
So, let's start with where an espresso comes from.
Okay.
Espresso was invented, so to speak, in Italy.
Okay.
Okay, the espresso machines were invented in Italy.
Okay.
This concept of putting water at 9 bar through fine ground coffee is from Italy. Okay. They have traditionally had their coffees dark roasted.
Okay.
Okay. Not necessarily bitter always, but dark roasted.
Okay.
Okay. But when this got propagated around the world, that espressos have to be done in a dark roast only. Now, what happens in dark roast? Okay. If you understand coffee, coffee is a fruit,
Yeah.
very sweet. If you eat it from the plant, you will see it is so sweet. Okay. तो उसमें sugars हैं बहुत सारी. Now when you roast it, what starts happening is your sugars start getting caramelized.
Yeah.
अब एक लेवल तक तो कैरामलाइज होती है, उसके बाद इट स्टार्ट्स गेटिंग कन्वर्टेड इनटू चारकोल, चार्ड.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where the bitterness comes from.
Okay.
Okay, now so when you have dark roasted coffee, you make an espresso out of it, because an espresso is an intense shot. You're putting water at a very high pressure through coffee. All those compounds get like they come into the coffee, right? And that's what you're drinking.
Okay.
Because it is charred, you get that bitterness. But if you go to specialty coffees, okay, which are roasted at a medium level or a medium dark or light medium, you will not necessarily get bitterness. You can get sweet coffees also. Okay. Some of our espressos are sweet. They come with sugarcane and raisin taste notes.
Okay.
When you drink an espresso, you don't have to wince. Okay. That's how it is supposed to be. But that won't happen with the trade or a commodity level coffee.
Okay.
Because they have to be roasted dark. Because they come from so many different origins, so many different estates, कि उसमें अगर हमें continuity लानी है, एक stability लानी है taste के अंदर, that can only come through dark roast.
Okay.
मीडियम रोस्ट अगर हम करेंगे और उस कॉफ़ी में 100 स्टेट्स मिक्स्ड हैं, सो एक बार एक टेस्ट आएगा, अगली बार दूसरा टेस्ट आएगा, तीसरी बार तीसरा टेस्ट आएगा.
Okay.
Now you don't want that. You want that stability, continuity of taste, and that is why you will see that most of the bigger chains have to roast their coffees dark,
Dark. Okay.
because their requirement is so much कि एक स्टेट से तो हो ही नहीं सकती ना पूरी.
That is what I was coming to. Do you think that brands over time, when a brand becomes bigger, like when it reaches a scale, the quality or the control over the coffee reduces, or the coffee's native personality just
I think it
dies
is
down?
not just about कि because they are bigger they are not able to do it. It is because your requirements have increased so much that you will not be able to source from one single state. See, if you are targeting to serve the exact same taste all the time, then it will suffer. Because वो exact same taste अगर आपको हर जगह देना है, if you have 100 cafes, then there would be some challenges to that. But if you are okay to keep the origin characteristics and you're okay to serve different coffees at different places, I think that should not be a problem.
Okay.
See, because if you're sourcing from one state, okay, उसकी एक limited production capability है, वो उतनी ही कॉफ़ी दे सकता है. Now, you can do two things. Either you can keep individual estate coffees and serve them at different places, or you can mix all of them together so that you are serving a homogeneous mixture everywhere.
Okay.
But in that case, the origin characteristics are lost,
Okay.
right? So, because उस केस में आपने सबको मिला दिया एक साथ.
I think you have talked about this, but in a market where I'm saying, every month I see a new brand coming up. First coffee aa raha hai, ab coffee aa raha hai, tan coffee aa raha hai. Like all of these brands are coming up. So do you get scared कि यार इतनी market में मैं कैसे घुसूंगा? What would be my penetration? How would I do it?
See, if you don't have your North Star, okay, you will get scared.
Okay.
But if you know what is your target, if you know what you are doing, and you keep going on that journey, then I don't think there is any reason to get scared. See, because the market is huge. We are 1.5 billion of us.
Yeah.
So there's no dearth of market space for everyone. But I think a lot of these brands which are coming up are more about cafes. They're basically about curating a cafe space where youngsters can come and interact and sit and have coffee. But I think specialty coffee holds its own space. Okay. So the cafes that we work with, they are looking to serve great coffee. Okay. They are looking to serve the actual coffee connoisseurs. And there's a big market for that also, and it's growing very, very fast.
Okay.
And I don't think there's anything to be scared of. I think it is important for all the players to come and exist together, because all of us are trying to educate people about coffee. Okay, whether you're working with specialty, whether you're working with trade, any kind of blends, right? So there is space for everyone to exist, and I think eventually it is all going to grow together.
Okay. How important do you think is a role of a barista in serving coffee or in making that coffee that is being served?
So I think barista holds two roles. The first is the ability to understand coffee and to make coffee, right? जो सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट है वो पैशन होना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, वो क्यूरियोसिटी होना बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है अबाउट कॉफीज. Second is, and this is a quote, you'll hear it a lot of times, especially within the coffee world, people don't come back for the coffee, they come back for the barista.
Okay.
The art of conversation is a very, very important skill for a barista. The ability to speak to people, to understand what they might like. Okay. So, for example, it's a very hot afternoon, okay, and someone comes in and you can see that they're feeling hot. If they come and ask you for a cappuccino, you can probably suggest them maybe a cold brew would work better for you right now. You seem so hot, right? And these small things, like that ability to start a conversation, hold a conversation, I think they are very, very important part of a barista also. Along with the fact that you should know how to make great coffee.
Great coffee. Okay. What is a great coffee according to you?
Oh, there's no one answer to this. Like, I can tell you that even for me, it can keep changing from day to day, right? Okay. And so there's no one answer to that. Okay. There are days when I would do a pour over first thing in the morning. Okay. And there are days when I would want a mocha, an intense shot of coffee. Okay. Right? It keeps changing. While my primary driver is generally a pour over, V60. Okay. But yeah, it can keep changing. So there is no one great coffee. Even within the 8-9 different kind of coffees that we do, my preferences keep changing what I like which day.
Okay. So what are you feeling that day? Okay.
Yes.
And so I'm sure you have traveled a lot. You've talked to me about it. Where have you had the best coffee?
Where I've had the best coffee.
Like you're like कि मैं अब उसके बारे में यहाँ बैठ के भी सोच सकता हूँ, मतलब मेरे दिमाग में वो थॉट आ सकता है कि यार वो कॉफी तो.
I think generally I like coffees that I make, but I will talk about something else.
Okay.
I think I've had the best coffees which are from Colombia.
Okay.
Generally. Okay. And there's not a one-off example. There have been like 2-3 different times where I've had super amazing Colombian coffees. Okay. And thankfully have great friends who get me good coffee from around the world. Okay. Just last month I got a coffee which was roasted in Melbourne. Melbourne is like the home of some of the best roasters in the world. It has a brilliant coffee culture. So I got a coffee. This again was a Colombian coffee. And when you open the packet, you'll have like a strawberry smell in this whole room. Okay. It is so intense. It's an anaerobically fermented natural and fabulous taste notes of strawberry and candy fruits. Okay. Like I absolutely loved it. I think I went through that 250 gram like pack in 7 days.
Okay. ठीक है. So अभी I'll tell you a short story. मैं अभी ना last weekend I was in Gurgaon. I went to this place called Coffee Island. Coffee Island. It has newly opened up. I'm not sure.
I've heard the name. I've not been there.
Yeah. So they have created this experience like where you they have that I don't know what do you call it, the fragrance thing that you press and you can smell the coffee beans.
Yeah.
So they have
the aroma station.
Aroma station. They have that aroma station. Then you can see where your coffee comes from. उन्होंने सारा लिखा हुआ है.
Yeah.
ठीक है. So do you think that is just, I would say, a marketing gimmick, or is it something that they would be actually doing it? Like, is it just ki abhi this needs education, this needs I would say the customer is wanting it because they are reading it off the internet?
I think there is no harm in doing it. I think it's an important part of the education, and it can be used as a marketing ploy. I won't call it a gimmick. Okay. It can be used as a marketing ploy, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. Eventually what you're doing is you are getting people fascinated about coffee in one way or the other. Right. Okay. But generally, I don't know, I've not been to the place, but if it is backed by great coffee in your cup, I think it's a success. That's very, very important. Like the coffee has to be good when you're doing anything like that.
Yeah, I think that is what I like talking to you about, that you are, keeping the product first. Because what I feel with brands that are coming up, they, try to hook the customer in a way, and the coffee might not be great or might not be good, right? So I think that is what I am liking when I'm talking to you, that the product, you're keeping the product first.
See, because if you want to survive in the long run, you need to focus on the product. Okay, and it is not just about focusing it like once on it and just let it be, because it's a natural product. It changes every year. Okay, so every few months when I go and meet the farmers, there's something new happening. Okay, even when you're buying the same coffee from the same estate, every year the taste notes will change. फैक्ट्री में नहीं बनता ना, वो तो जमीन प्रोड्यूस कर रही है, राइट? द सॉइल माइट हैव चेंज्ड, द रेनफॉल पैटर्न्स हैव चेंज्ड, द प्रेसिपिटेशन इन द एयर हैज चेंज्ड, तो उससे कॉफी का टेस्ट चेंज होगा, राइट? सो you have to be very, very focused on the product and continuously in this industry at least. And that is what will take you ahead. That is what will take you far. And as I said, I think a lot of places which are opening up are about the experience of a cafe. Okay. So the focus is to give a good experience, a place where people can come and sit. Okay. The coffee can be good. Coffee may not be that great. Okay. That again is an individual choice that the brand can make. But their focus is cafes.
Talk to me about Indian coffee. What is superior about Indian coffee?
Oh, it is fabulous. I love Indian coffees. I think I think one of the things which is very, very close to my heart about this is because I have worked in Ladakh, I have worked on sustainability and climate change a little bit. The fact that it is grown under a forest, that you not cut down rainforests to grow coffee like a lot of other countries have done. I love that. I love that fact. I think a lot of our estates are also, they don't use any fertilizers or chemicals. They are wildlife friendly. They are bird friendly. They don't keep traps to keep the wildlife away. I think these are beautiful stories that we have in our country, right? Along with the fact that because it is shade grown and not sun grown, the ripening of the beans is happening slowly. So you have more complex flavors which are getting developed in your coffee. Okay. And you have so many different regions which are growing coffee. So you have so many different taste profiles which come out. Like from Chikmagalur to Coorg to Yercaud to Nilgiris. We have a fabulous coffee growing culture. And now it is getting transformed into a fabulous coffee drinking culture also. So I absolutely love Indian coffees.
I love the excitement that you have when you're talking about the Indian coffee, right? I have not seen this when you were talking about all the other things, but when Indian coffee, your face just lit up when you just started talking about it. So
I absolutely, I'm very proud of the fact of the kind of coffees that we have. And I think if that gets transported into everyone, we'll do great as a nation in terms of the coffee industry.
Okay. And when you talk about farmers, like their challenges would be completely different, right? Because they're just growing coffee, right? They are not looking forward for a brand. They just have that livelihood. So do you think they have the passion to like grow the coffee, or they're just doing it, right?
See, it's not being easy in coffee farmer. I can tell you that. I think there are a lot of hardships involved. It can be a very good value creation perspective, but then again, it can keep changing from year to year. Like whether you have a good crop or a bad crop can be a difference between you making money or losing money. Okay, but it's not easy. Like you have labor struggles, you have rainfall struggles. Climate is changing very drastically now, so it's a challenge being a coffee farmer, and I think it's a challenge being a farmer, whatever you're growing in India, right? So coffee may be same hi hai, but it can be a wealth creation thing, especially if you are a big farmer. Okay, and if the coffee prices are good, because coffee prices are not decided in India. They're decided on an exchange in New York and London. So New York decides the price of Arabica, London decides the price of Robusta. It's like a stock market. So prices are changing every second.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. So over the last few months, the prices have doubled, which is good for the farmers.
Yeah.
Right. But then there are times, prolonged times, when the prices have been very, very low, which has been a struggle for them.
Okay. So now, understanding you, right? What were you doing before coffee? And do you want to talk about it?
Briefly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I did my master's, my MBA from IIM Mumbai.
Okay.
I passed out in 2012. It used to be called NITI back then. And thereafter, I worked in corporate for around 7 to 8 years. My last role was in Goa Bibo. I was heading the hotel's revenue team for Goa Bibo, India. And thereafter, I left. I moved to Ladakh. I worked there for close to 1.5 to 2 years in this organization called HIAL, which is a Himalayan university started by Sonam Wangchuk.
Okay.
So I was heading their operations. I was taking care of the academics, heading the forestation team, School of Tourism, so taking care of a bunch of stuff there. And then in 2020, I moved back. I got into hospitality, and I started running a backpacking hostel in Rishikesh. I now run a retreat center in Rishikesh.
Okay.
And I do coffee.
Okay, so many things to talk about. Okay, so when you were with, I'll talk about Sonam Wangchuk a bit. So when you were with him, how was the experience? How was the learning? What was it?
I think it was a very, very new thing for me, like moving from a city and a corporate life into a village, like completely cut off. Very, very valuable. I learned a lot of things, especially in terms of how you live in a village, first of all, how you work with the villagers, how you deal with the problems. Not just deal, first of all, understand their perspectives and their problems and their challenges. And then how can you help? Like, what can you do there? Okay. So I was working on climate change mitigation, reverse rural migration. Then I was helping run farm stays in the village, which was part of the School of Tourism. Okay. Then we also launched, as a part of the university, we launched our first fellowship, and I was like curating the academics for that, teaching entrepreneurship, teaching tourism. So all in all, there's so much to talk about it. I think we can talk about that itself for 2-3 hours.
Yeah.
But overall, an extremely enriching experience.
Okay. And when you started a backpacking company, talk to me about one trip that you are like, yaar, ye to bahut hi sahi tha. Like in India, if someone wants to go somewhere.
I think that trek you can't do now. Okay. This trek I did in 2013, I think. Chadar Trek.
Okay.
So in Ladakh, there is Leh region. Okay. There's Kargil region and there is a Zanskar region. Okay. So Zanskar has been generally cut off. Okay. Now they have a road both from the Lahaul side and from the Leh side. Okay. So now it is connected properly. But before this, like 5 years ago, and before that for hundreds of years, it used to be completely cut off during winters. Okay. So the only way in and out in winters from Padum, which is the capital of Zanskar, to Leh, was through Zanskar River.
Okay.
This river completely freezes in winters. So you walk over the river.
Oh.
And it's called Chadar. a sheet of ice. Okay. So this used to be a traditional route through which Zanskari people would come to Leh and go back by walking over this frozen river over multiple days.
Damn.
Okay, when the temperatures can go as low as -40, -45. So I did this trek in 2013. We start from the Leh side and we go halfway and then we come back. So around 80 kilometers walking over a frozen river. The lowest temperature I would have seen, I think, if I remember correctly, was around -38.
Okay.
Yeah, so that used to be a fabulous trek. Now there is a road which goes right above that river.
Oh, damn.
So that trek, I think, still might be happening. I'm not really sure. But yeah, when you have trucks flying above you, then there's no fun in doing that.
Is climate change real?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, there's no doubt about that. Anyone who says anything otherwise is living in a fool's paradise.
Okay. And how do you solve a problem that is at this level, right? These are problems that no one person, no people can solve, right? Climate change as...
No, you can't.
Okay.
Like see, I'll tell you what. We have seen the devastation which happened last 1 week in Himachal and Jammu and Uttarakhand also. Now, people say कि वो development हो रही है, इसलिए सब कुछ खराब हो गया. यहाँ पे roads वैसे बना दिए काट के. Absolutely right. Okay. There's a right way of making highways, and there is a fast way.
Okay.
The fast way is not the right way. Okay. You can't blast through mountains to make highways, because what you're doing is whatever you leave back, okay, you leave that with cracks. Okay, so that is going to disintegrate. That's not the right way of doing things. But eventually it's not a problem of that only. See, the cloudbursts are going to happen. The floodings are going to happen because it is not people who are living in the mountains who are doing something wrong. It is us who are living in the cities who are doing a lot of it wrong. Right? It is our lifestyles which are fueling this, not them. And it is easy to be a keyboard warrior and say things about something, but it is very difficult to change yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge of this whole humanity right now.
Yeah. So what are a few things that a person who might be watching this and, is passionate about or does want to contribute to the climate change awareness or anything a bit, what things they can do?
Be mindful of what you're doing. That's it. Be mindful. Like when you are driving a car, is there public transport available that you can take? Which is probably taking you the same time. It is not a major inconvenience. I'm not saying make your lives more difficult, but just be mindful of what you're doing. Be mindful of whether you're drinking water from a plastic bottle or whether you have a reusable bottle. And I'm just talking very small things, right? ये सारी चीजें individual level पे कुछ नहीं करती हैं, right? Like, let's take the example of plastic bottles. अब I'll say कि यार एक प्लास्टिक बोतल नहीं पीने से क्या हो जाएगा, कुछ नहीं होगा. बट जब 1000 लोग करने शुरू कर देंगे, so the companies which are making these bottles will feel the pinch. And then they might think of something else. Right? See, eventually the differentiation can only be done by big corporations. We all know that, right? What individuals can do is through their actions, okay, they can force those changes.
Okay.
That's all we can do. So when I was in Ladakh, Sonam started, and I was working with him on that project, started this small project called I Live Simply. Okay, I think it would still be there up the website. So what you do there is you go there and you take pledges. Okay, and there are like list of pledges there. You take a pledge that I used to drive 50 kilometers a week and now I pledge to drive 30 kilometers a week. So I'm reducing 20. Okay. And then at the end of it, which out of those 14, you choose whichever pledges you want to take. What we will tell them is that you have contributed these many dollars towards climate change. Okay. The way we'll do it is कि उन्होंने जो change accept किया या pledge किया that they will take, उससे कितना carbon emission पे फर्क पड़ेगा, and what is the value of that in terms of carbon credits, And when you convert a carbon credit to dollar value, what is the exchange rate for that right now?
Okay.
Because carbon credits are also traded. It's a commodity. Okay. Uski kya value hai? And then you tell ki you have contributed this much, because more than anything else, humans understand money. Right?
Understood.
So you start at your own level, start being mindful of what you're doing, and I think that's all we can do. And then push our governments and big corporations for change. I think as citizens, that's our duty to push our governments for change.
Understood. Very interesting. Very interesting. I want to also know your thoughts about business. Like, what are your, let's say, a core principle or 3 core principles that you follow when you are building this business? कि मेरे को ये करना ही करना. Like, I cannot, like, अगर मैं इससे बाहर चला गया तो this is something that I'm doing wrong.
I think the first is go all in. When you're going into something, go all in terms of learning what that business entails. Like when I get into coffee, I make sure that I learn everything there is about coffee. Right? And keep doing that. I think that's a very important part of a business, because that's what can make you stand out from the crowd. Okay, your ability to understand that business. I think second, I think even more bigger is integrity, ethics and integrity. Be honest to yourself at least.
I think most people lack that.
We learn to live with the lack of that. And jitna kam wo seekho utna acha hai. Because see, you can always make much more money in the short term, but I always feel that, like, at least with Blackpool Coffee, I'm not and I tell my co-founder this also, we are not making it for us. We are making it for the next 500 years. So it has to have rock solid ethics in terms of what it is standing on. I don't just want that मैंने एक बड़ा बिजनेस बना लिया, मैंने 4 इन्वेस्टर से इतने पैसे ले लिए, इतने सारे मेरे PR के आर्टिकल्स आ गए, and I'm done. Like that, for me, that's not business. And that's social media attention.
But don't you think that is, like, in the age that we are right now, that is totally required? I'm not saying to...
No, it is required. See, you have to be out there. You have to be speaking about your business. But I was saying that you have to be ethical about your business in terms of sustaining it for long term. That's it. वो presence तो ज़रूरी है. We are now living in an age where personal branding has become very, very important. So people will buy your products when they know you. Okay, when you are out there, you are, and people can see that you are honest about what you're doing. I think that's a very important part of the business right now.
Manish, tell me about Blackpool Coffee. You have talked to me about Blackpool Coffee ka ethics kya hai? What are your visions with it? What are the product lines that you have right now?
So, majorly 3 product lines. First, we have a range of coffees which we call our espresso range. Okay, they are named as reserves. Okay, so we have Mountain Reserve, Legacy Reserve, Marine Reserve, and Stellar Reserve, and then we have a low caf option also. Each of them comes with their own taste notes. Most of them are single estate coffees. Stellar Reserve is a top of the line coffee. This is not a single estate. These are 3 super amazing coffees, each from Coorg and Chikmagalur and Tamil Nadu.
Okay.
And I wanted to make it like that. I wanted to create a particular coffee which has something from each of these 3 regions and comes out super amazing. So this sits on the top of our line. Uske alawa, we have a manual range. Okay. These are manual brewing coffees. So we have an organic Arabica coffee. We have a fermented Robusta in this. We have a honey processed Arabica, again, a very high altitude coffee, perhaps the highest grown coffee of India.
Okay.
And apart from that, recently we have launched drip bags. So these are easy brews. You can brew without any equipment, at home, while traveling. This we have recently launched for retail. Okay. And we have also started retail of our espresso range and our manual brew range, roasted coffees.
Okay. And what else can people expect over time?
I think different kind of coffees, more coffees within these three ranges.
Okay.
Within our drip bags, we are launching a special black edition now, which will have a new coffee every month.
Okay.
Okay, these will be micro lots coming from very unique farmers with very unique taste notes, and a new coffee every month. So that's coming very, very soon.
I am very interested in tasting the coffee.
Yeah,
very,
we'll do
very
that.
interested. I don't know if I'll like it or not because as I said, I'm a very illiterate coffee person. But let's just see.
So honestly, you know what? If you drink blacks for 10 days, and I'm talking good specialty coffees, in 10 days you'll be converted. Okay. You'll not be able to drink anything else after that.
Okay. Nice. That is nice.
Yeah.
Okay. And if people want to buy your product, where they can buy it from?
Through our website.
Okay.
Blackpoolcoffee.com.
Okay.
And Amazon. Will be very soon on Blinkit also. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice. Thank you so much, Manish, for doing this.
Yes.
I really love talking to you and learning more about coffee.
It was a pleasure talking about coffee. Yeah. Always.
And we have a brewing session that we are going to shoot right now. So stay tuned for that. Also, thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for watching this. If you are here, please subscribe and also buy Blackpool Coffee from the website. And I have not been paid to say this. So I'll taste and I'll let you know how is it. So stay tuned for the brewing session.
Let's brew. What do you think? Is it drinkable?
It is actually very drinkable. First of all, I can obviously taste that sourness of the coffee if I say so. But it is not like I have to eke every time like
Yeah. So I'll tell you. So there's a difference between sourness and brightness. Okay. So जो native taste notes हैं किसी भी food product में, there are 4. You'll have sourness, which is that bad खट्टापन जब कोई चीज़ खराब हो जाती है. Then you have brightness that you will probably taste in this.
Yeah.
Which is the orange acidity. Okay. Which is good. Which is something we like. That's why we call it brightness. Okay. Then you have sweetness. Okay. And then at the end you have bitterness. Okay. So what we're trying to do, okay, when you're trying to make coffee, is not to have that sourness, khattapan, not to have that bitterness too much, and be in the middle.
Okay.
Right acidity and sweetness.
This is something.
So this is a factor of processing of coffee, your roasting, your brewing,
everything
all
that
of
we
it
talked about.
Like this coffee we brewed at 92 degrees.
Okay.
If I brew it at 88, taste notes might be very, very different.
Okay. That also affects it.
Yeah. See, eventually what's happening is आपको कॉफी के अंदर जो टेस्ट आ रहा है वो किससे आ रहा है? किसी भी चीज में टेस्ट क्यों आता है? When you order something in a restaurant, it comes to you. You smell it before you eat it. What is that smell? There's an organic compound which is there in that food, which is able to escape out and hit your nostrils. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Now, because it is able to escape, it's volatile. So you get taste notes and aroma notes in coffee also from volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Now, the reason coffee is so amazing is because it has been blessed with more than 800 VOCs.
Okay.
So you can taste anything from a strawberry to a rhubarb crumble, as we just saw in that Colombian coffee, to stone fruits, to lime and lemon zest, to dark chocolate, raisins, sugarcane. Because all these VOCs, coffee shares with those food products.
Okay.
Okay. तो इसीलिए अगर मैं इसको 92 की जगह 88 पे ब्रू करता तो some other VOCs would have escaped.
Okay.
And something else would have become dominant here.
Okay.
So जो escape कर गए वो अलग है और जो dominant इसमें रह गए that's what it is.
Amazing. Amazing.
काफी science.
Very nice. मतलब I don't think people have maybe now started looking coffee like this But अभी तक तो
as a consumer level, you don't. See, it is my responsibility to make sure that I am providing a coffee which is tasting nice, which is very drinkable. The nerdiness of it, everyone need not get
care
into
about,
it.
or get about.
There are a few coffee nerds,
Yeah.
and they are enough, like us. Probably more are not needed. Probably. But honestly, people become that when you become a home brewer. Because then that's a rabbit hole you keep getting more and more into, exploring more of it. And there is so much to learn. And generally, I found people in the coffee community very helpful. Like Reddit is a great place where you can learn about coffee.
Okay.
लोग बहुत helpful हैं. They can guide you in the right direction about what next you can do in your coffee journey.
Try out this, please. I'm not paid to say this, but I really like it. I think I will start liking this if I keep having it.
Yeah, it will take some time.
Yeah, but I'll keep liking it.